Hey, what's up guys? So let's take a look at some sample footage from the new Vueroid S1 4K Infinite Dashcam. Now, this is a dashcam with some really high-end specs and features that we've been really excited about. It was first announced back at CES at the beginning of the year, and it was expected to launch in April. However, they had some issues that they wanted to work out first on the firmware side, and now it's finally available for sale. And it's available in a variety of configurations. You can pick it up as a single channel front only version, and it uses a 4K Sony Starvis 2 sensor up front, the IMX678, which currently seems like the best sensor available here for dash cams. And then it's also available in the traditional 2-channel configuration, adding a rear cam, and out back you're going to be getting a 2K Sony Starvis 2 sensor, the IMX675. And then finally you can also get it in a full 3-channel configuration, adding an interior 1080p cam. And to record the cabin, it's using the Sony Starvis IMX307. And this sensor selection is actually the same as what's used in the VFO 8229 Pro. However, there's some really cool and interesting features available here. For example, for parking recording, it's got not only your traditional buffered parking recording, but also a new extremely low power parking recording mode, which only takes about 1 milliamp of power, which is a tiny amount of power, so it can record for an extremely long amount of time. There's also impact notification, so it can let you know in case your car was hit while you were parked. There's also a cool new GPS parking mode feature, so it can actually turn off, for example, when you park your car in your garage to save power and not unnecessarily drain your car battery. It's also got firmware updates over the air using the app, and it's also got some software designed to use AI to help you recover license plates that the dashcam natively couldn't capture. Now, in practice, I haven't had very good results with it, but I'm still kind of playing around with it to find the situations when it works best. Additionally, despite the cool new features, I've also found it to be a bit of a quirky dash cam, and it's taking some getting used to in terms of both the UI and some of these new features. And I'll cover this as we start getting into the overview and the review of the dash cam. In the meantime, though, as I'm testing it out, I wanted to go ahead and share some sample footage so you can get a preview of what this dash cam is like. There's other stuff that we can talk about as well, like how the front cam is capable of recording at 60 FPS, which personally I don't find that big of a deal. Additionally, if you set it to 60 FPS mode, the rear and interior cams actually drop to just 15 FPS in the 3-channel configuration, which makes it, I think, even less useful. It's also got a new feature called IPC, or Infinite Plate Capture, which is doing some optimizations to help it further capture license plate detail. And when you've got HDR and IPC enabled, it's going to do things like adjusting the dashcam's shutter speed using faster shutter speeds to help cut down on motion and better freeze frame license plates. It also makes some changes to things like the sharpness, there's some noise reduction, there's some auto exposure enhancements, plus some proprietary stuff that they don't want to disclose. Now, the IPC feature is going to be working in the daytime as well as around sunrise and sunset. And it's designed to actually disable itself at night when the IPC feature can actually be more detrimental than helpful. And in the video footage, you'll actually see a stamp at the bottom letting you know when IPC is enabled alongside HDR, or if it's just HDR, or when HDR has been disabled altogether. It seems like with this dashcam, they're prioritizing having HDR on all the time, and then having IPC on in the daytime, as well as around sunrise and sunset, though you do also have an HDR timer-based feature, like auto HDR, so it can turn on in the nighttime, but turn off in the daytime. Though if you're using that feature, you don't get the IPC feature. So if you want their IPC, their infinite plate capture, you have to actually have HDR on all the time and then just let it automatically turn IPC on and off. Now, obviously there's a lot more technical detail that we can go into here in the dashcam, which I'll be covering in a future video. But in the meantime, as I mentioned before, I wanted to go ahead and share some sample footage so you can see what the dashcam is like and what the video footage is like that it produces. And if you're liking what you're seeing, I'll put links in the video description to the different configurations of the dashcam, the single channel front only, the 2-channel front and rear, or the full 3-channel configuration that adds that interior cabin cam.